الحمد لله إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ولي الصالحين ونشهد أن سيدنا وحبيبنا وعظيمنا وقدوتنا ومولانا محمدا عبد الله ورسوله الأمين صلوات الله وسلامه عليهم أجمعين. فقد قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ووصينا الإنسان بوالديه حملته أمه وهنا على وهن وفصاله في عامين أن اشكر لي ولوالديك إلي المصير. صدق الله مولانا العظيم. وعن ابن عمر رضي الله تعالى عنه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال ثلاثة لا ينظر الله إليهم يوم القيامة ولا يزكيهم ولهم عذاب أليم عاق لوالديه ومدمن الخمر والمنان بما أعطي أو كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. Alhamdulillah, respected ulama, ikram, respected fathers, mothers, honorable youth in Islam, I greet you with the greeting of peace, the greeting of Jannah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillah, first and foremost we thank and we praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His endless and countless bounties that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is bestowing upon us every single minute of each day. We beg and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us to be of those grateful servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that perpetually and always show shukr unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to His favors. Special dua Jamaatul Muslimin in this time, Mubarak time of Jum'ah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cure all the sick. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant them a speedy recovery. And for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to grant them and to place sabr in their hearts and likewise in the hearts of their families. And also Jamaatul Muslimin, special du'as for all the deceased. We make dua and we beg Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to fill their qubur with noor. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to expand their qubur to where the eye can see. And for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make the qubur to become one of the gardens of Jannah. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. Just as a continuation, Jamaatul Muslimin, of not last week but the week before, remember we were so busy with the chapter of the importance of the obedience towards our parents. And I said to myself today I would want to pose a question inshallah ta'ala to all the parents. And in fact, if it is that we are not yet a particular parent, then perhaps this question is for all of us. And the question goes as follows, Jamaatul Muslimin. Do you desire an obedient child? The question is, do you as a father or as a mother desire an obedient child? And if I say obedient, I'm not referring to only being a means of a benefit to you. No. Obedient holistically. Meaning obedient being also in the same breath a coolness to your eye. In the same breath, Jamaatul Muslimin, while that child is obedient, whenever that child comes into the company of his or her parents, then that brings a smile on that parent's face. Obedient that the parent look forward to see that particular child. Obedient holistically. Do we desire obedient children? That is a multi-billion-dollar question. And I swear by Allah, Jamaatul Muslimin, the answer is extremely, very, very, very easy and clear. Yet we find most of us whom Allah have blessed and Allah have, laid this aman on our shoulders to be parents, most of us have steered away from it. we all desire, and isn't it that at times when we do sit into lectures and we do listen to lectures, we desire for most of our children to be present in that lecture. And isn't it at times while being present in the lecture, you tell yourself, Here, as Khamat Salayt is the die kan gewees het. How I wish my son was here. Yeah, the one that is married, yes, I'm talking about that one. How I wish my daughter was present here today with me just to listen, just to hear. As many of us who are desirous for our children perhaps to be present with us, like I said, the multi-million or billion-dollar question is, are you desirous of this? Do you desire all of this? Do you desire to one day, when if Allah so, decrees that you reach old age, that there will be someone to care for you? I believe this is not the rocket science question that I'm asking. This is something that all of us unanimously will agree to. That when I grow to old age, that my children won't shunt me. My children will backbite me. My children won't push me aside. My children will, they will ikram me. They will honor me. For the least, Sheikh Maulana, at least what my desire is, that my children will not disrespect me. I think all of us are desirous of this. By reaching old age, at least, if it is Allah bless me with 5, at least Sheikh Maulana Mufti, oh Allah, grant me at least one pair of shoulders that I can cry on or lean on. And Allah, don't make all of them disobedient. I guess all of us will agree to this dua. All of us will say that I'm desirous of children of that nature. I'm desirous of children to have qualities like that. So inshallah ta'ala, we are going to paint this picture to how we as parents, inshallah ta'ala, can become recipients of children of this nature. Before we go to that child, subhanallah, and of course we would want our children to listen to the obedience of parents. Yes, of course. And the Quran speaks about it, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about it. I need to highlight, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on numerous of occasions highlights one great individual. After Allah and Allah's Rasul, the greatest human being to exist. The greatest human being to exist after Allah and Allah's Rasul is none other than our mothers. Listen to what I'm saying, Jamaatul Muslimin. The greatest human being to exist after Allah and Allah's Rasul. I'm not saying the Sahaba. I'm not even including them. I'm not including Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman and Ali and all the rest of the galaxy of Sahaba. I'm saying after Allah and Allah's Rasul, the greatest human being is none other than our parents, our mothers. Who's saying this? None other than our Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Let us go back to Jamaatul Muslimin. When Luqman al-Hakim was asked by that particular king, as we mentioned, to bring him something which is holy, which is divine, which is heavenly, meaning from Jannah, in this world, in this world. And Luqman said, something very easy that you are asking me. He went back home, he collected some of the dust and the sand beneath the feet of his mother, and he brought this to the king. He said, do you want something heavenly? Do you want something from Jannah? Yeah, I offer you the dust beneath the feet of my mother. This is far more holier than this dunya. It is heavenly, it is from Jannah. Now this itself, it's a statement. On one occasion, Jamaatul Muslimin, one Sahabi cried profusely at a janazah. He couldn't control himself. Beloved sons in Islam and daughters, the Sahabi cried profusely, no one could stop him. And all his friends looked at him. One of his mates and his friends came over to him and asked him, well, what's up? What's happening? Every day is janazah. I mean, why are you crying like this? He said, no, my mother had passed away. It's my mother's janazah. He said, okay, but I mean, why are you crying like this? He says to him, oh my beloved friend, don't you know and can't you remember that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, if a person's mother passes away, that is one of the doors of Jannah that Allah has closed. One of the doors of Jannah is now closed for that son or daughter. He and she will now have to seek another way towards Jannah. Ala al-aqs. Flip side to the coin, Jamaatul Muslimin, when they are alive, hence to why it is so easy for us to gain Jannah. Hence to why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam cursed the one whom Allah had blessed with parents, and through them they couldn't gain Jannah. Why? It is too easy to gain Jannah. But yet we find ourselves in such a space and time that we are, or they are, nowhere to be seen within our lives. Now when I say Jamaatul Muslimin, the greatest, I swear by Allah, whatever this lady touches becomes great. Of her own offspring, whosoever she invests in, of khair, of goodness, I swear by Allah, greatness comes from it. I'll make an example of a mushrik. We all know him. We did some history about him in school. Alexander the Great. Isn't it? Check it out, Jamaatul Muslim. He conquered many places. He was named as the Great. Movies were made about this person, whether it was fake. But his history proved otherwise. He was known as the Great, not because of what his friends or colleagues told him, that you are great because of your money. Nay. He was great because of the lands that he had conquered. History had made him great. And just see the motivational factor behind this individual believing whatever he believed, that he is the greatest. Just go and check. It was once upon a time when his mother gave birth unto him, his mother reared and steered him. When eventually he could understand, his mother told him that you are not anyone. When I say Jamaatul Muslim, the moment this lady lays her hands down, the moment this lady gets a vision and a path that she would want to tread, and a way for a child, and a future that she has in front of her, and rear and steer this child of hers into that, I swear by Allah, greatness will come from it. She told her son that you are no ordinary human being, son. You are the son of Zeus, which was back then, as the Greeks used to believe, he was a god. All of these are all shirk. But imagine this youngster being a normal human being. He grew up with it. And besides him growing up with it, he started to believe that. And what happened? Just because of a single statement his mother made, he went on in history conquering and, overpowering and gaining land upon land upon land. Through one lady's statement, his mother. Should we switch over to Islamic annals and history? I swear by Allah, wherever you see greatness, wherever you see people prospering, and up till today we are taking their names. I swear by Allah, somewhere down in their life history you would find there was a mother. The likes of Imam Muhammad ibn Idris al-Shafi'i rahimullah. The famous Imam al-Shafi'i, the madhab that we are following today. What do we think? This person was born a malak? Do we think he was born, being pious? Do you think that he was brought up into, subh? Came into this dunya, some of the ulama says, he was born as an orphan. His father passed away. Some of the ulama say that when he reached the age of 2 months, his father passed away. But steered and reared and got only by a single mom. As small as Imam Shafi'i was, she said, oh my child, you need to become a Hafiz al-Quran. Now remember the question that I asked? Remember the question that I asked, beloved parents in Islam, do we want obedient children? Come and have a look to what will happen if we do the following. There's none sitting in this audience, there's none roaming about out there that is not desirable for good children. And good is perhaps, won't even make justice to the word obedience. Because Allah says, فَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفٍّ. Allah says it is haram for you even to say oof. It's not that we have an option, we can play with some words. It is completely haram. So coming back to Jamaatul Muslimin, single mom. For all of our mothers at the back, may Allah grant them a long life in the obedience of Allah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant all of our mothers khairat and barakat in this world and in their lives. But for our new upcoming and for our mothers, some food for thought. Another statement that I want to make is Jamaatul Muslim, because this lady is so great, because this lady is connected to greatness, she will either make or she will break. There's no other way. She will either make them, or I swear by Allah, she will break them. And I will use nowhere else dalil straight from the Quran. Proof straight from the Quran. We don't even have to think hard about it. Let's go jump into it. Imam Shafi'i's mother. This is not recorded in the Quran. This is in the biography of Imam Shafi'i, Muhammad ibn Idris. His mother brought him up alone, remember? And by saying this, they were extremely very poor. Now by saying this, his mother had to chore also. Say, Mom, why she has a son now, exactly what we are going through, his mother had to do. She said, oh my son, look at this mother's vision. And remember, Imam Shafi'i's mother didn't live in the time of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. No, not at all. Many moons. More than 200 years later. 200 years later. This is quite some time. If it is, but perhaps you thought that, yes, but okay, that was a white thing, man. But a white thing. Still the same. Still the same in the sense of they had to work for their children like we have to work for our children. Of course. And on top of that, she was a single lady. She went out, but her focus was that I would want an obedient son. A child that I would invest in, and later in time, inshallah, with Allah's grace, He will invest in me. She said, oh my son, you need to become a Hafiz al-Quran. Off they went to Makkah. Oh my son, you need to study Allah's Quran. But before that, oh my son, you need to go down there to Rabi'a. You need to go to Rabi'a down there and you need to learn akhlaq and adab. Rabi'a al-Ra'i. And who was this individual? Let us go back. Allahu Akbar. Rabi'a al-Ra'i was that individual, his father, subhanallah, in his early young days. This was in the Khilafat of Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu. In fact, Uthman's son, were busy with an expedition somewhere in Khurasan. And this youngster's Rabi'a's father was called upon that he needs to go and fight. And not only go and fight, but it was for a lengthy period of time. It was for years that they had to stay in Khurasan. And before Rabi'a's father left, he said to Rabi'a's mom, here's a 30,000 gold coins for you. I'm leaving to Khurasan, and you know from Medina to Khurasan is quite a distance. Oh my darling, my honey, my sweetie, you won't see me anytime soon. Yeah, our child is still very small. Rabi'a was still a baby. Here's a 30,000 gold coins for you. Look after yourself and the child. Wassalamu alaikum, off he went. When I say greatness attached to our mothers, I swear by Allah, greatness. Greatness to such an extent, like I said, we are still taking their names up till today. This lady could have taken this 30,000 gold coins. And let's translate it over to our times. Baby, I will be a country there. Ek het 'n tsaag gekry in die Dubai. Allah, he called upon me, I need to buy important. I need to go. But you know, here's a Sahabat, because perhaps I'm coming back after a year or two. Ja, salam. Zitten zullen nog weggaan niet. But nevertheless, because Fulus, the world has made this. When the Muslim Dalai, but that is it, buddy. Bismillah ma akhbar, inshallah, Allah wa salamat, nevertheless, there Ahmad goes. Ahmad left behind some package. His children are still small. This is the time that we live in. What I said, Jamaatul Muslimin, if a lady, I swear by Allah, a mother, has a gaze of Akhirah and Allah in her, I swear by Allah, greatness will come from her. This lady took the 30,000 gold coins, what our, perhaps my wife or my daughters would have done, they would have spent it on buying the child clothes. Koop vir my bietjie nuwe tekkies en skoene. After all, my kind moet die nuwe baadjies het. Latest cell phone. And on top of that, if the first year goes by, I will remind the child also, can you see your father, don't even call. The daddy didn't send me no gifts. Can you see your father don't love you anymore? Not once did he send us a letter. With no complaints why the tarbiyah of this lady was made. This lady was trained a certain way. Her husband instilled Allah in her heart. He left, she was alone. After quite some years, he came back. And as was the custom of the Sahaba and the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whenever they used to return back from a lengthy or a long journey, they used to go to the masjid first before going home. He went to the masjid. As he entered the masjid, he made his tahiyyatul masjid, and he asked the brother next to him that, what is happening in this Masjid al-Nabawi? What is happening in the masjid? One of the biggest halqa, meaning one of the biggest gatherings, took place. Whereby one brother sat in front on a chair, and he was busy discussing hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this man at the back, coming back after some years, was amazed. He says, subhanallah, who's this man? Who's this young man standing in front and giving lectures? He says, no, that is one of the 7 fuqaha of Medina. He's one of the judges, the core judges of Medina. He says, subhanallah. But nevertheless, okay, done with his salah, off he went. Suki Motsi blame was not obvious. He went down to where he used to stay. He went, mashallah, he found his wife. He says, mashallah, marhaban, mashallah, she welcomes him. He also, so what did you do with the 30? Reminds us a lot about ourselves, isn't it? At times dan begin ons het kinders. Ek is al by die week, ek sien net die phone gaat af, ting, 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 hier was op die deur. Ag maar, jy vra nie eens waarom die kinders so ryk is nie. First question was, so what did you do with the 30? She said to him, do you want to know? Yes. Go to the masjid and see what did I do with the 30. Go to the masjid and see where and what did I do with your 30. As he went to the masjid, he didn't understand. They said to him, no, you know who the speaker is? That this speaker is the son of a person that lived long time in the path of Allah by the name. His son's name is Rabi'ah. He couldn't believe his eyes that it is his own son. This happens if the lady's eyes and the lady's heart is connected to Allah. And if the tarbiyah was made. So Imam Shafi'i was saying to this youngster, go and learn akhlaq by him. His mother said, a whole curriculum. Wie skryf dit uit? Who's the writer of this curriculum? His very own mom. And after you're done there, oh my son, you need to go to Imam Malik. For the students of hadith, or for the ulama, they will obviously know this is called silsilatul dhahab. The golden chain of narrators when it comes to hadith. وعن شافع عن مالك عن نافع عن ابن عمر. This is recorded as the golden chain. Now if I say the golden chain, everyone within the chain, I swear well, and all of them had a single mom behind them. Ajib. There were people that recorded the most hadith. And imagine we are still taking their name today. They became Imam of Madahib, the likes of Imam Shafi'i, the likes of Imam Malik. Allahu Akbar. So his mother said, oh my son, you need to go after that when you were taught about akhlaq and adab, respect. Oh beloved youth in Islam, it carries no weight if you have the whole Quran with you, you have hadith with you, and if you have absolute no other. It doesn't carry any weight. In fact, people will frown upon you, people will dislike you. Because your knowledge will have absolute no benefit in it. Imagine, who's the writer? The mom. The mom says, then you go there for akhlaq and for adab. And from there you go back to Medina, to the Imam of Madinatul Munawwar, which was Imam Malik. You sit there and you study the Muwatta of Imam Malik. And with the dua of his mom, he became the Imam Shafi'i that we have today. Switch it over, he went to who? Who was his ustad? Imam Malik was the ustad of Imam Shafi'i. Let's go to Imam Malik. Imam Malik as a youngster, guess what Imam Malik wanted to be? Imam Malik wanted to be a singer. Yeah. Imam Malik rahimahullah wanted to be a singer. Now perhaps we thought it's just no. He wanted to be a singer for a reason. He said to his mom, he had a father, but his father was paralyzed. His father couldn't really, his father used to sell, the arrows of the bow and the arrows. And it was very much, minimum that came in. And he said to his mom, oh mom, I want to be a singer because, it will be a means of income. And you always see when they move around, they always move around in a group. And there's always an aura and respect around them. Now who said these children of ours must just have, intentions and ideas and goals that comes from Jannah? No. Why? They are exposed to so a lot of things. So many things. They are exposed every day when they look on their phones. They see these fakies walking around. Fakies want to be on their YouTubes and all these type of things. Videos on the TikTok and this. and this one being a fakir, that one being a fakir, and everyone want to be in something and becoming famous. Eventually my son will ask me and tell me as well. But look at the wisdom of the mother of Imam Malik. She obviously saw that her son had a desire to become something. Now I swear by Allah, all of our children, and especially the one that we think the least of, don't for 1 second underestimate the powers of Allah. That very one that you thought is a swat-scrappy, the very one that you thought is a bit backwards, the very one that you thought is a bitchy diyamaka, I swear by Allah, Allah has made them ulama. I swear by Allah, many intelligent people that we regard to be intelligent are taking from them today. She obviously saw that her son, he has a desire to become something. And she channeled that very same desire of her son into the right direction. She said to her son, "Oh my son, don't you know, to become a singer, they only select those who are handsome." Listen to the mother, the hikmah, the wisdom. And Imam Malik looked at his mom and she said, "And oh my son, and mom is not saying that you are not, but don't you also know that Allah created us a certain way, and after some time, when old age catches up with you, they will eventually kick you to the side." Now, this makes sense. She says to him, "Oh my son, how about I direct you in a far more better path?" And as a youngster, the mom used to train her son. What did she do? She bought him the clothing of ulama. Now this is when you invest. This is, oh beloved mothers, when our Rasul didn't say 3 times, ummuk for nothing. He didn't just say that, you know, if it comes to who must be your companion, your mother, for nothing. Why? It is the very same mother that was there when no one was there. The very first, that very mother, she is the one that will implant. She is the one that will educate. She is the very first madrasa. The mother, she will either agree or disagree. She will either love or not love that very same person. She used to buy Imam Malik, her son, the clothing of ulama, the itar of ulama, the amama. And then what she did with him was, sit a baby, sit a lady. Then she used to make him sit in the house, like a big sheikh. And she being the audience. And then she would ask him, "Oh Malik, oh Imam Malik, can you tell me how many rak'ahs is there in Dhuhr?" And then he says, you know, there's 4 rak'ahs. MashaAllah, Allahu Akbar. Now this sounds simple for us. But because of that dua of that mother, that very Malik once upon a time became the Imam Malik of today. Who became later in time the teacher of Imam Shafi'i. This like, and the moment Jamaatul Muslimin, like I said, they orchestrate, they design, they trade the mothers. They make or they break. وضرب الله مثلا للذين كفروا امرأة نوح وامرأة لوط. ضرب الله مثلا للذين كفروا امرأة نوح وامرأة لوط. Allah says, and we will give you an example of ladies, mothers. They also have the potential to break, in spite of the husband being a Nabi of Allah. In spite of Allah being mentioned in the house 24/7, beloved mothers and sisters in Islam, the question remains, are we desirable or desirous of obedient children? Do we even desire goodness for them? Because remember, this is a cycle of goodness. It's a continuous thing. The Father said something, go with me, you will be safe. You will find safety and security with me. Go with me, Allah is with me. And in the sideline, the mother used to say, "Wat praat hy?" Oh my son, why don't you study the Quran of Allah? Hey, wag Ahmad. Ek het klaar gedecide al. Dat die kan gaan die eerste varsity klaar maak. En dan inshallah, as ek klaar getroud is, dan ons skep om te stuur na madrasa toe. And brothers, whether we want to duck and dive and this way and that way, all the excuses that we make, sisters in Islam, we know and we can see what the end result is. Don't look at this one and that one. Don't look at Dina. He's a bichita mutashadid. He's a bichita shadid. Amul kamusim maulanas in sheikh tavisima. Who said so? That's why by Allah, if you have an Allah conscious son and an Allah conscious daughter, the result of what I have today might have not been. It's because I said, he's still young. Hoekom nou? Why must she cover herself up? Why must she still go to madrasas as a matric, man? The solution was, is, will always be nowhere else but within the deen of Allah. We have seen it. We have tried it all. The end result is what we currently see today. What do we see? Look at our children, you don't have to look far. Look at us. When you say, kyk yourself in the spiegel. You hear things. I move around with the people, subhanallah. I, on numerous occasions, heard, you say, wat een moulana? Ja, maar net vir my pa geluister het, man. And by no means am I saying the fathers is always right and the mothers is wrong. No, don't get me wrong. Hoekom moet jy geluister vir jou? Hoekom sê jy moet aan so? Kom ons wat was nog by Mia swaan. Nou met gesê maar hy soek op plaas en kom ons hier raak op die sit. Maar weet jy wat 'n moulana? Jy hoor die kritiek het vandag. Maar hoekom aan my geluister broer? Nou sien jy vir Moulana Tawaki aan, al-marhum, the mufti. I used to study with him. He was my classmate. Moulana, almal van hulle het klaar gemaak. As net ek en nog 'n vriend van my wat het klaar gemaak. They became what? Subhanallah. They regretted today. And when you came from there, what was it that we offered to our children? With what? How is it possible you want to give your child something which is not good and expect goodness to come from it? Maak nie sense nie. As like giving your son a music CD or music tape and expect whenever he plays that within a recorder or a tape, Abdul Basit will watch that from it. Brother, you gave him a Celine Dion CD. Abdul Basit gaat niet watch around. You're feeding him with this. Don't expect him to be and to become an obedient child. Because what is the world feeding our children? This is not rocket science. If there is no Allah included, I swear by Allah, we are sitting with the end result. The school is teaching our children about fathers. Since when do we have the right to raise our hands for our kids? Hulle blou ligte toe. Lock him up. You have a right. No one can push you around and order you around. You're an adult. You also have a say. You also have rights. And you have the right to take it back. If someone has wronged you, you wrong them back. There's no exceptions made for parents. No, no. You are the same. It's your right to smoke. Because weed is legal in our country. Imagine our fathers that you won't have the right to, in fact, not you won't. You don't have the right to chuck your child out. Even as I couldn't dit zo opzien in jou voorhuis. En hy decide hy wil daarop. Wie gaat hom uitgehoor? I had a case like that. Imagine this youngster in the lounge of his parents. A mother came to me to say, Maulana, I had it now, you better come, otherwise, Chanaza gaat Maulana moet komen. I asked this youngster, so why? This is insane, what are you doing? She says, no, it is halal. This is not haram. It's a natural herb. And didn't the Nabi say that everything that comes from the ground is halal? I said to her, yes. But no, in the hadith did I say that the Nabi said that you are allowed to smoke it. Because Jai Rook, the akhirah is the dinner. How's this normal? But see to what they feed our children. This is what the dunya is feeding them. This is what the West is giving them. And we think if we give them that, in return, they are going to take care of us. They are going to respect us. They are going to be good children. They are going to one day, inshallah ta'ala, carry us. It's impossible it is not going to happen. Success, obedience, as Allah only kept in His deen. So when your child has Allah, Allah will teach the child how to respect his parents. Allah will teach that very son and daughter of yours what maqam and status Allah has granted the parents. This dunya won't give them that. This dunya will keep it away from them. The West will keep it away from them. I didn't even touch the hadith. We haven't even touched the bayan of those obedient children to what the end result of them will be. Imagine just waking up the morning and your parents is pleased with you. Imagine you as a son and whether the dunya is calling you a fruitcake. I swear on Allah, and these are all the nasty things, we say to one another. At times a wife would remind the husband, at times the husband would remind the wife. We use these ugly terms. Just so mommy's boy, man. Your mama is look Jay. Yes. You're out of the house, but you still like someone that lives there, and you just want to be there. Why did you get married with your mommy, man? Wal-iyadu billah. Wal-iyadu billah. Who gave you the right to go to your parents, man? Is it Paul? Is it man? Chef, you gaan zeggen, vier naar je maanden toe. Allahu Akbar, brother, wapen aan goed zeggen. Chef, what is happening? How is this normal? Sister, how in the name of Allah is this normal? So now, brothers, we are in that position. The Mochi told us, and I will end off with this. The Mochi threatened us. Alweer jou ma, waar is jou ander broers aan en jou sisters? Huh? Sy is die enigste ene wat aan mekaar moet flesh. Hulle almal is daar, niemand van hulle weekie. All of them are all staying there, they're boarding there, no one of them want to work. Because all of them are depending on you, man. So what you complaining? You know what Shaitan does? Without you knowing, brother, I swear by Allah, the reason to why you are in a position to give, the reason to why you as a son is in a position to give your parents, to support your parents, guess why? Is because of the very parents. the reason to why you have, you earn, you got today is because of them there that you are giving. Just leave it. Just you and Shaitan every single day will give you this da'wah. Because you must say, you know, the klap moes uit aan stem so ja. Jy wil sien hoe die klap nie so. Hy kom mos so mami van my kom. And then Shaitan will give you that da'wah to pull out, man. And then what we do? We go up to our parents and we give them ultimatums. We go give them ultimatums to tell them, Mami, ek gaan nie meer lig koop hier nie. As die lightings van Mami nie reg gaan kom nie. Daddy, I'm not sorting you out with inches anymore. If you are not going to stop with your things by helping them and giving them free lodge and this is not eating at home, brothers. Yes. Otherwise I'm stopping. I can't work for them, man. I can't work for them. I also have my lighties. Yes. And they full lekker by take, man. You as a son, you feel proud of yourself while you have the mochi behind you, man. And the mochi is encouraging you, yeah. Yeah. Terugkom toe, voel jy lekker with yourself. Try to stop it. Brothers, try to stop it. Try not to give anymore. Take the advice of your mochi. Mochi, take the advice of your husband to stop giving. I swear by Allah, and see what the end result will be. See how Allah will seize all the barakah in your income. We only have today because of what our parents have made dua for us to. We only are what we are today because of our parents, not because of you. It's not because of where you went, hence to why you have what you have. No, it is because of your mom. Your mommy didn't ring you up every day when she made dua for you. No! She makes dua whether you are there or not there, whether you saw her last week or saw her in a year's time. She's still making dua for you. Up till this very moment in this Jumu'ah, I swear by Allah, her du'as is, I wonder if Ahmad is in the Jumu'ah. May Allah protect us. May Allah safeguard us. Those whom Allah has blessed with mothers and parents, I swear by Allah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them a long life in the obedience of Allah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide and protect them. For us, Jamaatul Muslimin as children, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us obedient children of our parents. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us to be of those parents, those children, inshaAllah ta'ala, whatever need they may have. Brothers, and it's not only monetary. For you just, and that mother don't always want your money, man. That father of you don't always want your money. At times, he just wants you to be there. Hey, but you want it seen, man. And what do you think, what is the reason to why he just want to see you? The mere sight of you bring happiness to his heart. I mean, this is also not rocket science. Some of us, Allah have made us parents. And Allah have made us fathers. How is it when that lightie of yours is out after a certain time? Maghrib is al verby jou. Jou kinders normally elke aand Maghrib in die huis in. Hy is 'n klomp van 20 years old. Hy is 'n klomp van 25 years old. But you know this is his regular time. After 8 o'clock. Huh? Basi, youth, millennium, parents. How do we panic? Phone nou die boere sit vir hom op, missing phone die neighborhood watch, phone die army, phone die FBI squad. Almal moet vir jou sien dat so. Can you imagine our parents? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. This is an announcement, Jamaatul Muslimin. In fact, it's the Umrah meeting of Faiz Islands, who will be departing for Umrah, inshallah ta'ala, for Hajj. I for Hajj, subhanallah, for Hajj, inshallah ta'ala, the 21st, this Sunday morning, inshallah ta'ala, we make dua, and for all the other Hujjaj, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them salama travel, inshallah ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make them arrive safely on that side, inshallah ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make them to complete all their ibadat, inshallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also grant them Hajj Mabrur and Hajj Mabrur, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring them back to us safely, inshallah ta'ala. So his time of departure will be at 7 o'clock, inshallah ta'ala, and his address is number 7, Garden Lane, number 7 Garden Lane in Sandfontein, inshallah ta'ala. His humble request is that we should make dua for him, and likewise all the other Hujjaj, inshallah ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala must grant them all a safe travel, inshallah. Hajj Mabrur and Maqbool, inshallah ta'ala. قولوا قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. وأسأل الله المسلمين من كل ذنب فاستغفروه.